Bennett Davison here with another EuroHooplife podcast. We're going to be talking with Jay Warren specifically about his time in Poland. I guess the city you were playing in is Koszalin. Is that correct?
Yeah, Koszalin. Yeah. That's how they pronounce it.
Yeah. Let's. I mean, you know how the whole process goes. Let's see how what expectations did you have in Poland? Were you coming from? I think you said something about Montenegro. This is kind of a transitional season. What was it like when you got into Poland?
So this was my memory serves me. This was my first European job. So I flew into Germany, and the guy picked me up from Berlin. So when I got in Berlin, it was a Polish guy, but he spoke really good German.
Yeah.
And then when we got in the car, we got to the border, and I don't speak German, I don't speak Polish, but it was my first basic culture shock in Europe, where I'm driving an hour, and then all of a sudden a guy goes from speaking one language to another, and I'm just like blown away. It's like, oh, you just speaking fluent German to this person over here, and now you're speaking Polish to get across the border. And it was just one of the culture shocks, like mind blowing for me, because if you go state to state, you may hear an accent, but they're still speaking English. Yep. So this was my first culture shock, where I was just like, man, I mean, this is crazy. So I get over there. It's basically on the east of Poland, west, the kind of close by the Berlin Wall. So it's probably like about 2 hours, 3 hours from the Berlin Wall, or Berlin, where they picked me up. Yep. And then, there's as far as, the culture, so it's a lot of history there, because, they talk about the Cold War and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
so how was the city? Like, how many people were in it? Like, what were some of the things?
I don't know. It was a small city. I'd say maybe 50,000 people. It was a really small city. It was just crazy, because Poland's a huge country. But this is a super small city. Basically that's all they had. They had three things. They had basketball, they had handball. I don't know if a lot of people know what handball is. People in Europe know what handball is, yeah. You know where handball is, yeah. They had hockey. So those are the three major ones. Like they don't mess with soccer or anything like that.
Cold outside, and it's probably very seasonal.
Yeah. So, that was my first introduction to handball as well. So, yeah.
Okay. And so once you end up getting there, they put you up in a car, an apartment. Like, what types of things? If you were, and it sounds like Europe, I always found was a better situation if you had a girlfriend or a wife and kids, especially in Poland, where English is probably a second language, maybe German is a second language. What things could a player expect, and what were the situations that once you got there, with the car and the apartment, the city, the food, the entertainment, that type of stuff?
So usually with the smaller cities like that, hindsight, I think the club had, I don't know if they own that real estate, but they put us up, either it was a condo or a hotel. And and all the players were living in this condo or hotel. And at the time, I think they, in Poland, and maybe more now, but I think they allowed 4 imports. So there was 3 or 4 imports in there on the team.
Now, was that 2 EU players and 2 Americans, or is that 4 Americans, or whatever you prefer?
So it was 2. I know it was 2 Americans. They had 2 Americans. They brought me in as the Bosnian player, because I played for the Panama national team, and they had brought in another player. So they had three players plus me there. So I think that made so I guess it was 4. That's what I'm assuming it's 4 at the time.
Okay. So, and then you guys, once you got there, it sounds like it's a small town. You probably practiced and played in the games in your facility. What was it like playing in the other teams? Like, what was some of the longest drives? Did you fly to certain places? Was there a lot of bus trips? What's the season was going on?
Yeah, it was. I don't think we took one. This is early 2000s. So I don't think, or mid 2000s. I don't think we took one plane ride. I think the only plane ride that we took, or we were going to take, because I ended up leaving mid-season, was to Warsaw, whatever they call it in their language. Yeah. So, but all of them was, I think it was 6 or 8 games I was there. I think 3 or 4 of them were at home, and the other 4 were probably max. I think the max one was 8 hours away. But yeah, it was. I mean, this is during the winter time too, and it's cold there. So I mean, once it gets deeper in, November, December, I mean, they're prepared for it because they live there, but it's 10 inches of snow.
Yep.
They have those trucks out there on the road, make sure the roads clean and stuff like that.
Snow plows.
Yeah, and I think that and maybe a 4-hour trip would take 8 hours or 9 hours because of the weather.
Okay.
So it was just it's
so
the living
parkas and your thermal underwear and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And so once you ended up getting there, the season, you said you left mid of the season, but when you were there, obviously the finances. How were the finances? Was the team organized? Was there any issues with that?
So no, that was not. I mean, at the time when I was there, it was a fair organized team, and I seen later, probably like five years later, maybe not 5 years later, probably 5 years ago, that they were actually like in F.I.B.A, Euro Cup or something like that. So I'm assuming they got their act together. But the time I was there, it was a fair situation. Meaning, I remember the imports. We were all over there saying, if you don't pay us, we're gonna, we're not gonna play. And then I remember the time because I was just getting my Panamanian passport, and they needed me to register. So basically, since I was registered, like I was practicing, but I wasn't quote unquote registered yet. They were talking about not paying me, and I was like, you got to pay me. I flew over here. I'm practicing. You're gonna pay me. So that's and that's one of the reasons why I left the Mississippi, because I didn't want to like I said, my first European experience. I thought Europe was gonna be better.
And here you go, the whole cycle you heard about that was so bad.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would be like if you had to leave some breadcrumbs or tidbits of information about your experience there, how would you recommend, or what would be the pros and cons of this team in this situation? Would it be a good little place to start? Like you would use it as a place to start?
So, I mean, now that I know what I use it to play, like, because like a team, because when I went there, that team was like mid/bottom, meaning like they're basically trying to, like they need to win to stay in the league. So they're trying to bring in quote unquote cheap players so they can stay in the league. And that, in my experience, through my whole 13-year experience, I've never seen that work. But but there's people who are craving opportunities out there, so they know they can always bring those cheap players in.
Yep.
So I'm still have a great relationship with all the staff and stuff like that. But as far as the club, as a rookie, I want to go there. I would make sure you go to an established club in Poland before you go to one that's on the rocky road.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So how would players get in contact with you? You were saying that all the social medias to Jamar Warren.
Yeah. So just hit me up at Jamar Warren. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just hit me up on Jamar Warren, and you can get in contact with me.
Awesome. Jay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, my man. Thanks.
All right.